Germany is by far the best country to visit if you're on a mission to ride the best roller coasters in Europe. Germany is home to many different theme parks with world-class roller coasters. So suddenly I got the idea, why not rank the best roller coasters in Germany? So now I have combined a total of 15 different roller coasters, and these are all great to world-class coasters. So now sit back, relax and enjoy this video. And now coming in at spot number 15 we have Blue Fire at Europa Park, and this was the first looping thrill coaster by Mack Rides. This was Mack Rides' first attempt for creating a launch coaster with loops, and let's be honest, they did a great job. Blue Fire is overall a great launch coaster with a decent launch system. After that, Blue Fire has a very lengthy layer combining cool inversions and airtime. You have a big vertical loop combining two awesome and whippy twisted horseshoe rolls and then an awesome hardline roll. And this hardline roll is so whippy and intense that it could be the best inversion in Europe. And combined with a few decent floater airtime pops, you have a decent roller coaster. Coming in at spot number 14, we have Flug der Dämonen at Heide Park. And people often say that B&M wing coasters are too slow and floaty, but Flug der Dämonen is an exception. This ride is built in a very small area, which makes the whole roller coaster layout very compact. Even though the ride area isn't very big, you still have a decent track layout. Flug der Dämonen really has a very strong start to the ride with the iconic dive loop on wing coasters, then combined with a low to the ground airtime hill, and this is strong airtime. And then after that you have an intense Immelman with a lot of pace, and you continue to have a decent pace through the rest of the layout, combining different inversions and turns. And in my opinion, the layout of the ride is also a decent length, but the tight sitting wrist restraints on these B&M coasters might make it a bit uncomfortable for the riders. At spot number 13 we have Black Mamba at Phantasialand, and this of course is an inverted coaster by B&M again. Black Mamba really has a short but very whippy layout combining intense theming all over the place. This ride really features an iconic vertical loop that goes over a pathway, and it looks so cool. But the most important thing about an inverted coaster is how strong are the positive G-forces, and in my opinion I would say they are decently strong compared to other inverts I've ridden. But what really makes this ride experience better is the terrain. Black Mamba really is filled with head and foot choppers as it dodges in and out of the heavy terrain in the Africa section in Phantasialand. Coming in at spot number 12 we have Hals über Kopf. This roller coaster is located at Tripsdrill, and this is really Vekoma's new take on the suspended thrill coaster. This roller coaster was the first prototype, so it doesn't really offer the most intense ride. In terms of layout, this roller coaster offers a decent floaty 0G roll combined with awesome corkscrews, and I really love that Vekoma is focusing more on negative G-forces on these coasters. There are a lot of smaller floater pops on this layout, and combined with nice lap bars you really have a good coaster. And now coming in at spot number 11 we have Colorado Adventure at Phantasialand yet again, and surprisingly I've placed this family coaster over some of the other roller coasters on this list. Colorado Adventure is known as the best Vekoma mine train in the world. Everything in this ride layout just feels crazier and faster than all of the other mine train coasters. A big part of this ride layout is also located in complete darkness, and if you really choose the back row on this ride you're in for an uncontrollable experience. And Colorado Adventure is also a heavy themed ride just like the other Disney mine train coasters. And coming in at spot number 10 we have Carajo at Tripsdrill, and this really is a great roller coaster by Gerstlauer. Carajo is also part of the popular Infinity coaster model that features lap bars, and lap bars really is a must on these Gerstlauer coasters because they can feel a bit rattly. Gerstlauer is really known for punchy LSM launches, and Carajo is no exception. This ride has a very punchy launch, and then combined with awesome whippy inversions and airtime hills, you have a great ride. Carajo unfortunately does has a moment of 5 to 10 seconds where it doesn't really do anything. And now at spot number 9 we have Flug von Novgorod at Hansa Park, and this roller coaster is often mentioned as the best Eurofighter and most themed Eurofighter, and here we're talking about the whole world. After a cool and small dark ride section, this ride launches you from 0 to 100 km per hour and at a 62 miles per hour in just 1.4 seconds. And this really is one of the fastest accelerations in the world. This ride flies outside into a strong airtime hill combining strong G-forces after that. And this ride is not done. It has a beyond vertical drop in complete darkness and a few other elements in darkness. You can't really see anything. But the infamous over-the-shoulder restraints on these Gerstlauers are just destroying a bit of the experience. And coming in at spot number 8 we have Colossus Kampf der Giganten at Heide Park, and this is one of those rare huge wooden roller coasters made by Intamin. This roller coaster is often mentioned as El Toro's sister. The first section on Colossus is world class, combining a great drop with two iconic camelback hill that gives flowjector airtime throughout the whole hill. But after that this ride is unfortunately not great because it doesn't really offer any forces. On top of that you have a huge boring drawn out helix, but the ending with the awesome airtime hills and the huge figure with the pyrotechnics effects is just awesome. And the park has actually made the huge refurbishment El Toro also needs, so the ride is glossy smooth. And at spot number 7 we have Silver Star at Europa Park. Silver Star is a hyper coaster by B&M and it stands as the tallest and fastest roller coaster in Germany, but the height record is shared with another German coaster coaster, but we'll talk about that later. And we all know that the B&M Hypercoaster is known for its huge camelback hills giving awesome floater airtime. But unfortunately, Silver Star's airtime on the first half isn't as strong as other B&M Hypers. But that doesn't mean the ride isn't a great coaster. Silver Star, in my opinion, perhaps features the best second half on any B&M Hypercoaster in the world. Silver Star features a positive G-force heavy upwards helix. Here Silver Star features projector airtime on the drop and camelback combined with speedy S-curves at the end. That's just awesome. And coming in at spot number 6 we have Wodan Timber Coaster at Europa Park, and for me this is Germany's best wooden coaster. Wodan is a big wooden roller coaster made by GCI. This roller coaster overall features a great drop and relentless pacing. Except the first drop, this roller coaster really is a front row ride. Wodan mainly features low to the ground floating airtime hills that showcases the awesome pacing. And when you combine all these crazy elements and airtime with a very lengthy layout, you have Europa Park's second best roller coaster in my opinion. Just cracking the top 5 spot we have Expedition G-Force at Holiday Park. And Expedition G-Force is really a classic roller coaster made by Intamin. And trust me, this really is a very good roller coaster, but it gets a bit too overhyped by many people. This roller coaster really has a world-class twisted first drop, especially in the back row. After that, the ride layout mainly features overbank turns and airtime hills. And almost every airtime hill on this roller coaster gives strong sustained flowjector airtime, but the overbank turns drag the experience a little bit down for me. And trust me, I know that a layout can't just be airtime hills because you'll never reach the station again, but Expedition G-Force is still one of the best Intamin coasters from the early 2000s. And now at spot number 4 we have Fly at Phantasialand. Fly is a heavily themed and immersive flying roller coaster by Vekoma, but no, this isn't the old Flying Dutchman model, this is the new generation flying coaster by Vekoma. And let me tell you, this is one of the best prototype rides, and this really is the most comfy flying coaster train ever. And no, this roller coaster doesn't feature a lift hill, it has 2 launches. This roller coaster really has a very long layout that dodges in and over the whole Rookburg theme section of Phantasialand. Fly really offers many foot chopper elements, and combined with floaty inversions and airtime props, you have a one-of-a-kind coaster. And just reaching 3rd place we had Terran at Phantasialand, and I wasn't really sure about if Fly or Terran is the best ride. They are completely different experiences, but it's very 50-50. Terran is a very punchy LSM launch coaster made by Intamin. This multi-launch coaster really is a twisted mess of track dodging in and out of the themed Klugheim area at Phantasialand. Terran features 2 launches where the second roller launch is very intense. What makes Terran a great ride is its intense pacing throughout the whole layout. This ride is very lengthy and it also combines strong overbank turns and twisted airtime hills. The only negative thing about Terran is just before the second launch you have a slow moment where you just go slowly around the track. And coming in on 2nd place we have Svurdeskanen at Hansa Park, and this coaster really is a crazy ride that doesn't get talked about very often. This really is a heavily themed thrill ride that also has a huge tower, and now I'm gonna spoil the roller coaster secret, so watch out. In this tower the ride has a huge vertical lift and a twisted vertical drop, so this coaster shares the title as the tallest roller coaster in Germany with Silver Star. And this roller coaster really has a built-in drop track on the vertical lift hill, so it's so crazy. The rest of the outside track of this layout features floater airtime, ejector airtime, and it also has crazy rip and speed, so it has everything. And in the end you have a slow hardline roll with hang time. The only negative thing about this coaster is the Gerslauer rattle. And taking the number 1 spot as the best coaster in Germany is Voltron at Europa Park. And this roller coaster really is an all-inclusive package. You have intense immersive theming combined with a crazy roller coaster layout. This roller coaster really features everything on the planet. You have a beyond vertical launch, a rolling launch, a forward launch, a backwards launch. Then you have 7 different inversions with hang time and a lot of whip, so everything there. And Voltron also features many ejector airtime moments, and some of these are the best in the world. And Voltron really goes back and forth, giving strong positive G-forces and strong negative G-forces. So a very lengthy layout where everything just hits its world class. Then you have a top 5 coaster in the world. So there's only one thing left to say: you have to book a ticket to Europa Park to try this one. So now on this top 15 list we have 3 different coasters from Vekoma, we have 3 different coasters from Intamin, and also 3 coasters from Gerslauer, and yet again 3 coasters from B&M. And here we also have 2 coasters from Magwise and 1 from GCI. And the parks with the most coasters on this list is Europa Park and Phantasialand. These parks both have 4 coasters on this list, so that means they have over 50% of the best coasters in Germany, in my opinion, of course. So now we've finally reached the end of this video. Did you like this video? Did you hate this video? Let me know your thoughts about my rankings. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And then at the end of the day, I'm always gonna say bye bye.